At my birthday barbecue party, my wife invited her boss without telling me. He stood up, looked me right in the eye, and smirked. "Your wife did things with me she never allowed you to, loser." Everyone laughed. But soon their jaws dropped when I showed up with her boss' beautiful 22-year-old daughter, saying, "You can't even imagine what your daughter allowed me to do to her. See this belly? She's pregnant." What happened next was absolutely savage. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm some kind of saint or tragic hero. I'm Adrian Miles, 38 years old, and I've got the kind of life that looks perfect on paper, but feels like a participation trophy you didn't ask for. I'm the guy who remembers to take out the trash on Tuesdays, who actually reads the instructions before assembling IKEA furniture, and who can grill a steak so perfectly medium rare that Gordon Ramsay would probably just nod approvingly and move on. I pay every bill before the due date. I've never forgotten an anniversary, and I still open car doors like my mom raised me right. You'd think that would count for something, right? Wrong. According to my wife Clara, I'm boring. Her actual word. Boring. Like I'm a beige wall in a dental office waiting room. Clara, on the other hand, is what you'd call a free spirit if you're being generous, or exhausting if you've had more than 2 conversations with her. She's 35, blonde in that expensive salon way where it costs more than my monthly car payment. And she's got this gravitational pull for attention that would make a black hole jealous. Not my attention, mind you. That ship sailed somewhere around year 3 of our marriage when she realized I wasn't going to become a tech startup millionaire. No, she craves attention from her coworkers, her Pilates instructor, her book club that definitely doesn't read books, and apparently, her boss. But we'll get to him in a minute. It's my birthday, the big 3-8. Not a milestone anyone really celebrates. But Clara insisted we needed to throw a party because, and I quote, "We never do anything fun anymore, Adrian." Translation: she wanted an excuse to post 50 Instagram stories with strategic hashtags and a ring light. So here I am, standing in our backyard on a Saturday afternoon in late June, sweating through my shirt while the California sun tries to murder me. Surrounded by fairy lights, I spent 2 hours untangling a brand new grill I probably didn't need, but bought anyway, because Clara said our old one was embarrassing, and roughly 30 people I'm not entirely sure I invited. The yard does look good, I'll give her that. The grass is cut in those fancy diagonal lines. The flower beds are blooming in coordinated colors like we hired a landscape designer. We didn't. I just watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. And there's a whole spread of appetizers on the patio table that Clara ordered from that overpriced catering place downtown. My contribution? I spent 4 hours this morning marinating steaks, chicken, and ribs in 3 different homemade sauces, while Clara spent the same amount of time curating her candid selfies and applying makeup that could survive a Category 5 hurricane. My brother Dylan showed up early, like he always does, mostly to steal beer and give me crap about whatever's currently going wrong in my life. He's 35, works in IT, and has the kind of commitment issues that make him the perfect wingman but a terrible boyfriend. "Nice setup, bro," he said when he arrived, cracking open a Corona and surveying the scene. "Very suburban dad chic. You planning to wear a Kiss the Cook apron later?" "Only if you're planning to keep your dental insurance," I shot back, adjusting the grill temperature. People started trickling in around 2. Neighbors, Clara's friends who barely acknowledge my existence, a few guys from my old softball league, my mom who brought a Tupperware container of potato salad despite me telling her we had food covered. The usual crowd. Everyone's laughing, drinking, complimenting the setup, and I'm doing that thing where you smile and nod while internally calculating how long until you can reasonably kick everyone out. Then Clara drops the bomb. She glides over to me, and I mean glides, like she's on a literal catwalk. With her phone in one hand and a mimosa in the other that she definitely didn't need because it's her third. "Oh, by the way, Adrian," she says with that smile that looks sweet but feels like a knife wrapped in cotton candy, "I invited my boss. You'll love him." I should mention that Clara works in marketing for some tech startup that's always about to IPO but never actually does. She's been there for 2 years, and in that time, she's mentioned her boss Victor exactly 8,000 times. Victor did this. Victor said that. Victor thinks I should get promoted. Victor's so inspiring. Victor, Victor, Victor. The man's name has been living rent-free in my head for months, and now he's about to invade my actual home. Your boss? I repeat slowly, poking at a piece of chicken that definitely didn't ask to be part of this conversation. To my birthday party. Yes, he's amazing, Adrian. You'll see. She's already bouncing away, probably to check if her highlighter is still visible from space. His name is Victor Sterling, and before I even meet the guy, I know everything I need to know. He's 45, drives a Tesla that costs more than most people's houses, and according to Clara's constant updates, he's recently divorced, super fit, and has a house in Malibu. He's also allergic to shirts that cost less than $500, apparently has never met a conversation he couldn't make about himself, and radiates that specific brand of arrogance that comes from having too much money and too little self-awareness. I smell trouble before the burgers even hit the grill. It's this instinct you develop after being married for 10 years. The ability to sense when your wife's about to make your life significantly more complicated while acting like she's doing you a favor. Victor arrives fashionably late, because of course he does, in a white BMW that he parks like he's worried the other cars might give his paint job a disease. He's wearing designer jeans that probably cost more than my grill, loafers with no socks because apparently that's still a thing, and a fitted polo that's working overtime to showcase the gym membership he definitely talks about at every opportunity. His hair is slicked back with what I can only assume is imported gel, and his cologne hits me from 15 feet away like an expensive chemical weapon. Clara practically levitates over to him. I'm not exaggerating. She lights up like he's Santa Claus, the publisher's clearinghouse prize patrol, and Ryan Gosling all rolled into one. Victor, you made it. She's doing that thing where she touches his arm and laughs at literally nothing, because nothing funny has been said yet. He walks toward me with that CEO smile. You know the kind, where their mouth moves, but their eyes are calculating exactly how much you're worth and whether you're a threat or a stepping stone. He extends his hand, and I notice his watch costs more than my car. Adrian, happy birthday, buddy, he says, and then, get this, he slaps my back like I'm his employee who just submitted a decent quarterly report. Like we're old pals. Like he didn't just roll up to my house and immediately establish dominance by existing. Thanks, I say, gripping his hand firm enough to make a point, but not enough to start anything. Not yet, anyway. Everyone around us laughs at something. I'm not even sure what, and I realize Victor's already told a joke I missed while I was contemplating whether assault is ever truly justified. Dylan catches my eye from across the patio and gives me that "bro, you seeing this? Look." The look that says, your wife's boss is flirting with your wife at your birthday party, and everyone can see it except apparently you're supposed to pretend you don't. I just turn back to the grill, flip a steak, and take a long pull from my beer. So, Adrian, Victor says, moving closer, invading my personal space near the grill, my sacred space. Clara tells me you're in finance? Accounting, right? Something like that. I mutter, watching the flames. Solid field. Very stable. The way he says stable makes it sound like a synonym for boring. The same word Clara uses. I smile, but I don't look at him. I just keep flipping meat, watching it sear, listening to the sizzle that's currently more satisfying than this conversation. Happy birthday to me. So here's the thing about watching your wife flirt with her boss at your own birthday party. It's like being stuck in one of those dreams where you're trying to scream, but no sound comes out, except you're awake and everyone else can see it happening too. And they're all pretending they don't notice because acknowledging it would make the potato salad taste weird. The drinks start flowing harder after Victor's arrival, like someone opened a dam of social lubrication. And suddenly my backyard transforms into whatever the suburban equivalent of a nightclub is, except with more khakis and conversations about interest rates. Victor plants himself near the patio table like he's holding court, and Clara orbits around him like a moon that forgot it's supposed to be circling a different planet. I'm stationed at the grill because that's my job, apparently. I'm the entertainment, the cook, the birthday boy who's somehow also the help. Dylan's been shooting me looks every 30 seconds. Those "bro, you seeing this?" expressions that brothers develop after years of witnessing each other's life choices crash and burn. I just keep flipping steaks, focusing on the char marks, the sizzle, the smoke. Anything except the fact that my wife is currently giggling at a volume that could shatter wine glasses. I catch snippets of conversation floating over the backyard noise. Victor's voice carries. Of course it does. He's got that practiced executive projection that comes from years of boardroom presentations, and thinking everyone wants to hear his opinion about literally everything. Yeah, I just bought a new boat. He's saying to a captive audience of Clara and 3 of her friends who definitely don't care about boats. 42-footer. Takes her out to Catalina most weekends. Nothing like being on the open water, you know? Just you, the waves, and freedom. Clara laughs. Not a polite chuckle. A full-throated laugh like he just delivered a Netflix comedy special punchline. Oh my god, Victor, that sounds amazing. Adrian won't even go on the ferry to the island because he gets seasick. Thanks, honey. Thanks for that. Real supportive. I flip a burger with more aggression than necessary. The spatula makes a satisfying thwack against the grill grate. In the gym, Victor continues, because apparently we're doing his entire autobiography. I'm there 6 days a week. Full body workouts. You gotta maintain, you know? Especially at my age. Can't let yourself go. He says this while looking directly at me, and I'm pretty sure it's not a coincidence. I'm not out of shape. I'm just not spending 2 hours a day worrying about whether my abs are visible from space. Your dedication is so inspiring, Clara coos, and I resist the urge to check if she's also taking notes. My neighbor Tom sidles up to the grill, beer in hand, and mutters under his breath, "That guy's something else, huh?" He's something. I agree, not specifying what. Victor's now talking about his stamina. Yes, his stamina. At my birthday party. I just completed a triathlon last month, he announces, like he's expecting a medal or a parade. 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, full marathon to finish. Your body's capable of incredible things when you push it. He pauses for effect, makes eye contact with Clara again, and adds with a grin, "I've got the stamina for just about anything." He makes sure to say that last part loud enough that half the backyard hears it. Clara laughs again, that high-pitched, performative laugh that I haven't heard directed at anything I've said in approximately 4 years. Dylan appears at my elbow with another beer. "Bro," he whispers, "if you need me to accidentally spill a drink on him, just say the word." Or like, trip near him with a plate of hot wings. Tempting, I mutter, but let's not catch a lawsuit before cake. The sun's starting to set, casting that golden hour glow that would be beautiful if I wasn't internally combusting. Someone, I think it's my Aunt Linda, suggests we do a birthday toast. Great. Perfect. Exactly what I need right now. Everyone starts gathering around with their drinks, forming this loose circle on the patio, and Clara's already organizing people like she's directing a flash mob. Speech. Speech, someone calls out. Multiple someones, actually. My mom's beaming at me with that proud parent look that makes me feel guilty for every dark thought I'm currently having. I'm about to say something generic and grateful when Victor steps forward, literally steps into the center of the circle, and raises his beer bottle like he's Washington crossing the Delaware. "Actually," he says, voice booming with that CEO confidence, "if I could say a few words first?" "Nobody invited you to say words, Victor, but sure, go ahead." "I just want to say," he continues, and the backyard goes weirdly quiet, "that I'm honored to be here celebrating with Adrian today. I've heard so much about him from Clara." He pauses, looks around at everyone watching, and then his eyes land on me with this smirk, this knowing, arrogant smirk that makes my grip tighten on my spatula. And I just have to say, here it comes. I can feel it, like a disturbance in the force, if the force was powered by douchebaggery and expensive cologne. "Your wife did things with me she never allowed you to, loser." The entire backyard goes silent. Not like, politely quiet. I mean dead silent. Nuclear winter silent. You could hear a mosquito having an existential crisis. Everyone's frozen mid-drink, mid-bite, mid-breath. It's like someone hit pause on reality. Then someone actually snorts. I don't know who. Maybe it's nervous laughter. Maybe they think it's a joke. Maybe they're just as shocked as everyone else, and their brain short-circuited into an inappropriate response. My mother, God bless her, nearly drops her wine glass. I watch it wobble in her hand like it's trying to decide whether to commit suicide by patio stone. Her face goes through about 15 expressions in 2 seconds. Confusion, shock, horror, rage, and then this weird protective mama bear thing where she looks like she might actually throw hands despite being 63 and wearing orthopedic sandals. Clara freezes like a bad Wi-Fi connection. You know that buffering thing where the image just stops mid-movement? That's her face right now. Her mouth is half open, her eyes are wide, and I swear I can see the exact moment her brain crashes and tries to reboot. Me? I just stare at the grill. The steaks are still sizzling. The chicken's getting those perfect grill marks. The ribs are looking phenomenal. Everything's cooking exactly how it should be, which is more than I can say for my life right now. Guess she prefers well done men, I say, flipping a steak with what I hope looks like casual indifference. The joke lands like a lead balloon wrapped in concrete. Nobody laughs. A few people look uncomfortable. Dylan whispers, "Jesus Christ," under his breath. Tom suddenly finds his shoes fascinating. Clara's friends exchange glances that could be described as yikes at best and call the police at worst. Victor's grinning like he just won something. Like this was a competition and he's holding the trophy. He takes a sip of his beer, that smirk still plastered across his face, and I realize he genuinely thinks he just asserted dominance or whatever alpha male nonsense he's been reading about online. Inside, I'm boiling. Not like a gentle simmer. Like a cast iron skillet that's been on high heat for too long. Like molten lava dressed in a polo shirt and cargo shorts. Holding a spatula and trying to remember why assault charges are bad. My heart's pounding in my ears. My vision's doing that thing where the edges get fuzzy and everything tunnels down to one point. In this case, Victor's face and my sudden understanding of how murders happen at family gatherings. But here's the thing about revenge that they don't tell you in those inspirational quotes your aunt shares on Facebook. It's not best served hot. It's not even best served warm. Revenge, my friend, is a dish best served cold, preferably with a side of ribs and a generous helping of irony. And brother, I've got the perfect recipe. So here's what happens after your wife's boss publicly humiliates you at your own birthday party. People try to laugh it off. Not genuine laughter. That nervous, uncomfortable chuckling that humans do when they witness something so socially catastrophic that their brains can't process it properly. It's like watching someone slip on a banana peel, except the banana peel is your marriage and the person slipping is your dignity. A few people attempt to pivot the conversation toward literally anything else. My Aunt Linda starts talking about her garden tomatoes with the desperation of someone trying to defuse a bomb using small talk. Tom clears his throat and mentions something about the Dodgers. Someone's kid starts crying, which honestly feels appropriate for the moment. But the mood's gone. You know how a party has this energy, this vibe that keeps it floating? Yeah, that just popped like a balloon at a porcupine convention. People are still drinking, still eating, still pretending we're all having a great time. But everyone's got that look. The look you see at a funeral where nobody's quite sure what to say, so they just comment on the floral arrangements and avoid eye contact. Victor's still grinning like he just won the Super Bowl, the lottery, and an argument with customer service all at once. He's doing that thing where he rocks back on his heels, chest puffed out, probably expecting everyone to high-five him for being such an alpha male. Dude thinks he just established dominance in some primal hierarchy that exists only in his protein shake-addled brain. He's chatting with someone else now, probably telling them about his workout routine or his stock portfolio, completely oblivious to the fact that half the backyard is wondering if they should call someone, leave early, or just pretend they didn't hear what they definitely heard. Clara's avoiding eye contact like it's her job. Her cheeks are red, not the cute, blushing red, but that splotchy, I just got caught red that creeps up your neck when you realize you've made a catastrophic miscalculation. She's suddenly very interested in her phone, scrolling through Instagram with the focus of a surgeon performing open-heart surgery. Her friends have surrounded her in this protective circle, probably offering some version of "girl, what the hell?" in hushed tones while shooting daggers at Victor with their eyes. Dylan's moved closer to me, positioning himself like a bodyguard who's not quite sure what he's guarding against. "Bro," he mutters, "I'm not saying you should do anything crazy, but like, if you did do something crazy, I'd understand. That was not okay. I'm fine," I say, which is the biggest lie I've told since I said I do 10 years ago. "You're not fine. You're doing that thing where your jaw clenches and your eye twitches. You look like you're about to go full Hulk on these steaks." He's not wrong. I can feel my molars grinding together like they're trying to start a fire. The steaks are probably getting overcooked at this point, but honestly, they're the least of my concerns. I need to grab more ice, I announce to nobody in particular, setting down my spatula and beer. Dylan gives me a look that says he knows I'm not actually going to get ice, but he's not going to stop me because he's a good brother who understands when a man needs a minute. I head inside through the sliding glass door, and the temperature drop is immediate and almost offensive. The AC is cranked, and suddenly I'm aware that I've been sweating, not just from the grill, but from the sheer effort of not losing my mind in front of 30 witnesses. The kitchen's a mess of empty appetizer trays and discarded napkins, but it's quiet. Blessedly quiet. I can still hear the party outside, the muffled conversations and music, but in here it's just me and the humming refrigerator and my rapidly deteriorating self-control. I grab my phone from where I left it charging on the counter. 17 unread messages. Most of them are probably from people who aren't even here, wishing me happy birthday with those generic emoji-filled texts that people send when they remember you exist once a year. But there's one name in my notifications that makes my heart rate spike for entirely different reasons. Ava Sterling. See, here's the thing Victor doesn't know. The thing nobody at this party knows except me and one other person. Victor's not the only one with secrets. For the past 6 months, his 22-year-old daughter Ava has been messaging me. It started innocently enough, I swear. She reached out on LinkedIn asking for career advice. Something about wanting to break into finance, needing guidance. Her dad wasn't helpful. Could I spare some time? I'm not a monster. I said sure. We got coffee. Then we got coffee again. Then coffee turned into lunch, which turned into drinks, which turned into... Well, you can probably fill in the blanks. Ava's nothing like her father. Where Victor's all ego and expensive cologne, Ava's genuine. Sweet. Kind. She's got this laugh that sounds like wind chimes, and she actually listens when you talk instead of just waiting for her turn to speak. She's in grad school studying environmental science. She volunteers at an animal shelter on weekends, and she thinks her dad's kind of a narcissistic asshole, which are her words, not mine, though I obviously agree. We connected. Really connected. The kind of connection that makes you question every decision you've made up to that point in your life. The kind that makes you realize you've been settling for someone who treats you like a piece of furniture she occasionally remembers to dust. And then, about 2 months ago, she told me she was pregnant. Yeah, pregnant. With my kid. Not my proudest moment, I'll admit. Not something I'm going to brag about at the next family reunion or put on a bumper sticker. The moral high ground? I'm not even in the same zip code as the moral high ground right now. I'm somewhere in the ethical basement, probably filing paperwork next to people who cut in line at Starbucks and don't use turn signals. But here's the thing about ethics and morality and all those philosophical concepts we pretend matter until they become inconvenient. When your wife's boss publicly mocks you at your own birthday party, when he stands in your backyard eating your food and drinking your beer and announces to 30 people that he's been sleeping with your wife, those ethics go up in smoke faster than barbecue sauce on a hot grill. I open my messages. Ava's last text is from this morning. Happy birthday. Wish I could be there, smiling face with smiling eyes. Hope you have an amazing day. I type back. Change of plans. You're coming to my birthday party after all. 3 dots appear immediately. She's typing. My heart's hammering like it's trying to escape my chest and file a restraining order against the rest of my body. Really? Are you sure? Won't that be weird? I lean against the counter, staring at my phone screen, thinking about Victor's smirking face, about Clara's betrayal, about the fact that I've spent 10 years of my life trying to be a good husband to someone who apparently prefers men who treat them like acquisitions. Trust me, I type. It'll be perfect. My address is 2847 Maple Drive. Get here in 20 minutes. Adrian, what's going on? Revenge, I type. Cold, calculated, and absolutely justified. Bring the ultrasound photo. There's a longer pause this time. I can practically see her in my mind, sitting in her apartment, hand on her barely showing belly, wondering if she should be concerned about my mental state. Fair question, honestly. Finally, okay, I trust you. See you soon, Red Heart. I pocket my phone and take a deep breath. Through the window, I can see the party continuing. Victor's holding court, Clara's pretending everything's fine, Dylan's manning the grill because someone has to, and everyone else is doing that thing where they participate in a social gathering while secretly wishing they were literally anywhere else. In 20 minutes, this whole thing's about to explode like a firework factory in a lightning storm. I grab a bag of ice from the freezer, might as well maintain the cover story, and head back outside with a smile that probably looks slightly unhinged, but I don't care anymore. Showtime's coming. And brother, I've got front row seats to the greatest show this suburban neighborhood has ever seen. Walking back outside with a bag of ice I don't actually need is like returning to the scene of a crime where everyone's pretending the crime never happened, and maybe we all just imagine the body. The party's somehow still going. Humans are resilient like that, capable of ignoring social disasters if there's still beer and appetizers available. It's actually impressive in a dystopian kind of way. The music's still playing, some classic rock station that's cycling through the same Eagles and Fleetwood Mac songs it's been playing since 1987. People are eating, drinking, laughing at things that probably aren't that funny, and collectively participating in this mass delusion that everything's totally normal and fine. Claire has shifted into damage control mode, which for her means acting extra cheerful and pretending the last 15 minutes simply didn't occur. She's got this plastered-on smile that looks like it was applied with a trowel, and she's bouncing around the patio with the manic energy of someone who just chugged 3 espressos and a guilt complex. I watch her intercept my mom, who still looks like she's contemplating murder, and redirect her toward the dessert table with the skill of a professional hostess who's definitely done crisis management before. Victor, meanwhile, has positioned himself near the outdoor bar setup like he owns the place. He's still bragging, because of course he is. The man's got a pathological need to be the center of attention, like he'll literally cease to exist if he's not talking about himself for more than 30 consecutive seconds. He's cornered my buddy Jake from softball and is apparently explaining his investment strategy, gesturing with his beer bottle like it's a pointer in a boardroom presentation. "You've got to diversify, man," Victor's saying, loud enough that I can hear him from the grill where I've reclaimed my position. "Real estate, stocks, crypto, I'm in all of it. Made 6 figures last quarter alone. It's all about knowing when to buy and when to sell. Most people don't have the instinct for it." Jake's nodding with that glazed expression people get when they're trapped in a conversation they didn't consent to and can't figure out how to escape without being rude. I catch his eye and he mouths, "Help me," but I just shrug. "Sorry, buddy. We're all suffering here." And the promotion Claire is about to get. Victor continues, and my hand tightens on the grill tongs. "That's all merit-based, obviously. She's earned it. Woman's got talent." He says this with a tone that makes talent sound like it should be in air quotes, and I feel my jaw clench again. Dylan was right. I am doing the thing where my eye twitches. Clara laughs from across the patio. She's definitely within earshot and definitely heard him. "Victor, stop. You're too kind." She's using that voice, the performative one that's pitched slightly higher than her normal speaking voice, the one that makes me want to stick my head in the grill. Dylan slides up next to me again with the dedication of a Secret Service agent. "Bro," he whispers, "don't punch him. Just don't. I know you want to. I want to, and he's not even married to my sister-in-law. But don't. Why would I punch him?" I say, flipping a piece of chicken that's definitely been on the grill too long at this point. "I have dessert planned." Dylan squints at me. "What does that mean?" "You'll see. That's ominous. I don't like when you're ominous. You're usually not ominous. You're the least ominous person I know." Character development. I mutter, checking my watch. 15 minutes. Ava should be here in about 15 minutes. Traffic willing, universe willing, karma willing. More neighbors drift in. Apparently word spread about the party, or maybe people just saw the cars and figured free food was involved. The Hendersons from 2 doors down show up with their teenage son who immediately gravitates toward his phone like it's a life support system. Mrs. Parker from across the street arrives in a velour tracksuit that's definitely making a comeback that nobody asked for, and she's got her iPad out, which means she's either documenting this for the neighborhood Facebook group or she's playing Candy Crush. Possibly both. The sun's really setting now, and someone, probably Clara, has turned on the string lights I hung earlier. They cast this warm, golden glow over everything, making the whole scene look like a Pottery Barn catalog if Pottery Barn catalogs featured emotional devastation and impending drama. The yard looks beautiful. The food smells amazing. Everyone's having what appears to be a good time. It's perfect, really. Norman Rockwell would paint this. If Norman Rockwell painted scenes titled "Man Plans Revenge" while grilling ribs. Adrian. My mom appears at my elbow, wine glass in hand, and she's got that maternal concerned face on. "Honey, are you okay? That man, that Victor person, what he said was absolutely inappropriate. I've never been so mortified in my entire life, and I once walked in on your father trying to groom the cat with my hairbrush." "I'm fine, Mom." "You're not fine. Nobody's fine. Clara should be ashamed of herself. I raised you better than to. Mom, I interrupt gently. I promise you, everything's about to be okay. Better than okay, actually. She looks skeptical, which is fair. What does that mean? Just trust me, and maybe stay close to the patio when we do cake. You're gonna want a good view. Her eyebrows shoot up. Adrian Miles, what are you planning? Justice, Mom. I'm planning justice. She studies my face for a long moment, then takes a sip of her wine and nods. Well, all right then. Just try not to get arrested. I'm too old to bail you out of jail, and I left my checkbook at home. Clara's decided it's cake time, because apparently we're still following the birthday party script despite everything. She's wheeling out this elaborate cake she ordered from that bakery downtown. Chocolate with raspberry filling, my favorite, which would be touching if I thought she actually remembered that detail instead of just asking the bakery what men usually like. There are candles, 38 of them, plus one for good luck, all lit and flickering in the evening breeze. Everyone starts gathering around again, and I'm having serious deja vu from the toast incident earlier. Clara's positioning herself next to the cake like she's about to cut a ribbon at a grand opening. Can everyone come in close? She calls out, using her hands to gesture people forward like a flight attendant demonstrating emergency procedures. We're going to sing happy birthday. Victor positions himself right next to her. Of course he does. Dylan's on my other side, and I can feel him tensing up like he's preparing for round 2 of the world's most uncomfortable social gathering. Wait, Clara says, pulling out her phone. Let me get my ring light. The lighting out here is terrible for Instagram. Clara, we don't need. Adrian, just hold on 1 second. She's fiddling with some portable ring light contraption that she probably spent $100 on. Because God forbid we have a genuine moment that isn't optimized for social media engagement. I check my watch again. 5 minutes. Ava should be pulling up any second now. My heart's doing this thing where it feels like it's trying to escape through my throat. My palms are sweaty. I'm either about to have the greatest moment of vindication in my entire life, or I'm about to create a disaster that'll be discussed at family gatherings for the next 50 years. Possibly both. Okay, Clara announces, ring light positioned, phone propped on the table in video mode. Everyone ready? Let's make this good for the gram. People are smiling, preparing to sing. Victor's got his arm casually resting near Clara's shoulder, not touching, but close enough to be proprietary. Dylan's whispering, "Bro, what's happening?" But I ignore him, and then I hear it. The sound of a car pulling into the driveway. A car door closing. Footsteps on the walkway. Everyone turns toward the side gate. Curiosity written across their faces. Who shows up this late to a party? Clara's smile falters slightly. Unplanned arrivals mess with her carefully curated aesthetic. The gate opens. Ava Sterling steps into my backyard, and time does that movie thing where everything slows down and you can hear your own heartbeat over the background noise. She's wearing this long floral sundress, yellow with little white flowers, and her hand is resting on her belly. Not obviously pregnant to someone who doesn't know, but definitely showing if you're paying attention. Her dark hair is pulled back in a ponytail, and she's got this uncertain smile on her face, like she's not quite sure what she's walked into, but she's here anyway because she trusts me. Every single head turns. The birthday singing dies before it even starts. Someone's wine glass stops halfway to their mouth. Mrs. Parker's iPad nearly slips from her hands. Clara's smile completely evaporates like water on a hot skillet. And Victor's face is priceless. His expression cycles through confusion, recognition, shock, and then this dawning horror as he processes that his daughter is standing in my backyard at my birthday party. Adrian, Ava says sweetly, walking toward me with that graceful way she moves. You forgot to introduce me to everyone. The entire backyard has gone silent again, twice in one party. That might be a record. I set down my beer and smile, genuinely smile, for the first time all day. Oh right, I say casually, like this is totally normal and planned. Everyone, this is Ava Sterling, Victor's daughter. I pause, letting that information sink in, watching Victor's face turn an interesting shade of purple. You might want to sit down before we continue. Dylan whispers, holy shit. Showtime. The backyard has gone so quiet that I can literally hear the ice melting in someone's drink. It's that thick, heavy silence that feels like it has physical weight, like the air itself is holding its breath waiting for something to explode. Everyone's frozen in these awkward positions, mid-drink, mid-bite, mid-whatever they were doing before Ava walked through that gate and fundamentally altered the trajectory of this entire evening. Mrs. Parker's iPad is recording all of this, by the way. I can see the little red light. This is definitely going on the neighborhood Facebook group, probably with a caption like, "You won't believe what happened at the Miles barbecue," with way too many exclamation points. Ava stands there looking like an angel who accidentally wandered into a demolition derby. She's got this serene expression that I've always admired about her. This ability to remain calm when everything around her is chaos. It's probably a defense mechanism she developed growing up with Victor as a father. You'd need the emotional regulation skills of a Buddhist monk to survive that household. Victor's doing this thing where his mouth keeps opening and closing like a fish that just realized it's out of water and also made some terrible life choices. His face has progressed from purple to a shade of red that I'm pretty sure doesn't exist in nature. Like if you mixed embarrassment, rage, and a cardiovascular incident into one color. His perfect hair gel is starting to fail under the stress, and I can see a vein in his forehead that's working overtime. "Ava," he finally manages to stammer out, and his voice cracks like a teenager's. What are you doing here?" She smiles at him with the kind of patience you'd use with a toddler who's asking why the sky is blue for the 18th time. "Oh, I just came to meet Adrian's friends and family," she says innocently, her hand moving to rest more obviously on her belly now. "He's told me so much about everyone." Clara's standing next to the birthday cake, looking like someone just told her that Instagram is shutting down permanently. Her ring light is still on, casting this artificial glow on her face that makes her expression of abject horror look even more dramatic. Her mouth is hanging open in this perfect O of shock, and I'm pretty sure she's forgotten how to blink. Dylan leans over and whispers, "Bro, please tell me you didn't." "Oh, I absolutely did," I whisper back. "Jesus Christ, you're insane." "Maybe, but I'm not a loser." And that's when I decide it's time. Time to drop the bomb that's going to crater this party harder than a meteor hitting a birthday cake. I step forward, setting down my beer with the deliberate slowness of someone who's about to deliver a monologue they've been rehearsing in their head for weeks. The grill's still smoking behind me, which feels appropriately symbolic. Everything's about to go up in flames anyway. "So, Victor," I say, loud enough that everyone can hear me, projecting my voice like I'm doing Shakespeare in the park, except this is revenge in a backyard. "You called me a loser earlier. That was fun. Really set the tone for my birthday celebration. You stood in my yard, ate my food, drank my beer, and announced to 30 people that you've been sleeping with my wife." I pause, watching his face. "You said she did things with you that she never allowed me to experience." That's a direct quote, right? Want me to repeat it? Because I memorized it. It's seared into my brain like the grill marks on these steaks. People are starting to look uncomfortable again. My mom's got her hand over her mouth. Tom from next door looks like he wants to climb the fence and escape. But nobody's leaving, because humans are fundamentally designed to watch train wrecks. "Adrian, don't," Victor starts, but I hold up my hand. Nah, let me finish. It's my birthday, remember? I get to talk." I turn slightly to include Ava in my gesture. So I figured, you know what? Turnabout's fair play. You want to play the humiliation game at my party? Cool, let's play. Let me tell everyone about your daughter Ava here. Ava gives a little wave. She's committed to this bit, God bless her. Victor looks like he's about to have an aneurysm. Ava and I met about 6 months ago. She reached out for career advice. We got coffee. Then we got to know each other really well. Like, really well. I let that hang in the air for a second, watching comprehension dawn on faces around the backyard. And about 2 months ago, she told me some pretty exciting news. "Adrian, stop." Clara finally finds her voice, and it comes out as this strangled sound. "You're being disgusting." "Disgusting?" I turn to her, eyebrows raised. That's rich coming from someone who's been having an affair with her boss. But sure, I'm the disgusting one. Got it. Ava steps forward, still calm, still composed. She reaches into her purse and pulls out a folded piece of paper. "I brought the ultrasound photo," she says helpfully, "in case anyone wants proof. It's a boy, by the way, due in April." The backyard erupts. Not like politely murmuring. I mean full-on chaos. Someone drops their plate. Mrs. Parker gasps so loud it sounds like she's auditioning for a horror movie. My mom says, "Sweet Jesus and all the saints," which is how I know this is serious, because she only brings religion into things when someone's either getting married or completely losing their mind. Victor lunges forward, and for a second I think he's actually going to take a swing at me. Dylan steps between us immediately. Good brother reflexes, but Victor just stands there shaking, pointing at me with a finger that's trembling like a leaf in a hurricane. You son of a," he can't even finish the sentence. His whole body is vibrating with rage. Son of a what, Victor? Use your words. You're a CEO, right? Big important executive? Surely you can string together a complete sentence. I'm smiling now, and I know it probably looks deranged, but I don't care. This is the best I've felt in months. Maybe years. How could you? Clara shrieks, and she's moved away from the cake now, advancing on me with her finger pointed like a weapon. With his daughter? His daughter, Adrian. That's poetic justice? I offer. Karma? Turnabout? Pick your favorite cliche, Clara. They all work here. You're sick, she spits. You're absolutely sick, says the woman who's been screwing her boss. I turn to address the crowd, because why not make this a full performance? Let's recap for everyone who might have missed the earlier bombshell. My wife has been having an affair with her boss, Victor. Victor thought it would be hilarious to announce this at my birthday party in front of all my friends and family. So I figured, hey, if we're airing dirty laundry, let's really air it. Victor's daughter is pregnant. With my child. Because apparently, while Clara was busy doing things with Victor she never allowed me to do, I was busy doing things with Ava that Victor's definitely never going to recover from. Jake from softball starts laughing. He can't help it. It bubbles out of him like he's been holding it in, and it just exploded. Then someone else snickers. Then someone else. Within seconds, half the backyard is laughing. That slightly hysterical laughter that happens when a situation is so absurd that your brain doesn't know how else to process it. Victor's not laughing. He looks like he's about to spontaneously combust. You targeted my daughter. This was revenge. You used her. Ava cuts in sharply. Dad, nobody used me. I'm 22, not 12. I made my own choices. And honestly, Adrian's been more of a father to this baby in 2 months than you've been to me in 22 years. Oh damn, she went there. Dylan mutters, shots fired. And he's not wrong. Clara's crying now, not pretty crying, but that splotchy, mascara-running crying that happens when your entire world is collapsing and you realize you're not the victim in this story. Adrian, how could you do this to us? To our marriage? Our marriage. I laugh, and it sounds slightly unhinged even to me. Clara, you did things with your boss that you never allowed me to do, remember? His words, not mine. I'm pretty sure you did this to our marriage. I just evened the score. I call it poetic justice. You brought your boss to my birthday. I brought his karma. Victor makes another move toward me, and this time he's serious. Dylan shoves him back. My brother's smaller than Victor, but he's scrappy and currently running on protective sibling adrenaline. Back up, man, Dylan warns. You want to throw hands? Remember you started this. I'll destroy you, Victor snarls at me. Both of you. I'll make your lives hell. You have no idea who you're dealing with. A guy who just found out he's going to be a grandpa? I suggest. Congratulations, by the way. Should we add that to the cake? We can do one of those gender reveal things. I've got blue food coloring inside. Mrs. Parker is definitely recording all of this. Her iPad is pointed straight at us like she's filming a documentary. Someone's kid is crying. My Aunt Linda is stress-eating potato salad directly from the bowl. Tom's wife is texting someone, probably sending play-by-play updates to every group chat she's in. Everyone needs to calm down. My mom tries, but her heart's not in it. She looks torn between being horrified at my behavior and being proud that I stood up for myself. Maternal instinct versus social propriety. It's a hell of a thing to watch play out on someone's face. Best birthday ever. I announced to no one in particular, grabbing my beer from the grill. Seriously, this is going in the memory books. Victor's still standing there, shaking, looking between me and Ava like we're a puzzle he can't solve. Clara's friends have surrounded her, offering tissues and sympathy and probably planning my murder. And Ava? She walks over and stands next to me, her hand finding mine. So, she says cheerfully, are we still doing cake? Because I'm eating for 2 and that chocolate raspberry looks amazing. Dylan loses it. He just doubles over laughing, and it's contagious. Even some of Victor's previous audience is cracking up now. This is chaos. Complete, beautiful, catastrophic chaos. And I'm here for every single second of it. So here's the thing about creating absolute chaos at your own birthday party. Once you open that door, you can't really close it again. It's like knocking over the first domino in a chain that stretches across your entire backyard and possibly into the neighbor's yard too. What follows my little revelation could only be described as cinematic chaos. The kind of scene that would require multiple cameras and a dramatic soundtrack, except the soundtrack is a mix of screaming, gasping, and someone's kid crying because they dropped their hot dog. Victor's face has now transcended all known shades of red and entered some kind of infrared territory that might be visible from space. His hands are clenched into fists at his sides, and I can literally see the moment his brain short-circuits from executive function mode into full primal rage mode. It's like watching someone's operating system crash in real time. The expensive cologne, the designer clothes, the CEO swagger, all of it evaporates, and what's left is just a middle-aged man who's realized he's been outmaneuvered by the guy he called a loser 30 minutes ago. "You son of a bitch," Victor roars, and he lunges at me with the coordination of someone who spends more time in boardrooms than in actual physical confrontations. His fancy loafers aren't designed for attacking people on grass, and he's got the athletic grace of a drunk giraffe wearing rollerblades. I sidestep, not even dramatically, just a casual step to the left like I'm avoiding a puddle. Victor's momentum carries him forward, and this is where it gets beautiful. There's a cooler. My Coleman cooler that's been sitting next to the grill all afternoon, filled with ice and beer and now serving as the perfect prop in this comedy of errors. Victor's foot catches the corner of it, and suddenly he's airborne in the least graceful way possible. He goes down hard, and I mean hard, face first into the grass with a sound that's somewhere between a grunt and a yelp. His beer bottle flies out of his hand and rolls across the patio, leaving a trail of foam like a breadcrumb path of shame. Someone screams. Might be Clara, might be my Aunt Linda. Honestly hard to tell at this point because the audio landscape of this party has devolved into pure chaos. Dylan jumps back, hands up. Whoa, I didn't touch him. Everyone saw that. I did not touch him. Dude tripped over his own ego. I mutter, taking a sip of my beer because what else am I supposed to do? Call a timeout? This isn't basketball. Victor rolls over, and his white designer polo is now decorated with grass stains and what might be a smear of barbecue sauce from earlier. His hair, that perfectly gelled, slicked back hair that probably required 3 different products in a YouTube tutorial, is now sticking up at odd angles like he stuck his finger in an electrical socket. He looks like a before picture in an ad for anger management classes. Clara rushes over, because apparently she's still operating under the delusion that she's the supportive wife in this scenario. Victor, oh my God, are you okay? She's trying to help him up, grabbing his arm, but he's a solid 200 pounds of pure rage and humiliation, which makes him difficult to maneuver. Get off me. Victor shoves her away, not violently, but definitely not gently either. Clara stumbles backward, her heels catching on the patio stones, and she barely manages to catch herself on the edge of the dessert table. The table wobbles. The cake wobbles. My mom makes this noise that sounds like a strangled gasp because that cake cost $80 and we haven't even cut it yet. Victor, Clara's voice goes up about 3 octaves. I was trying to help you. I don't need your help, he shouts, finally getting to his feet. His face is smeared with grass and dirt, and there's a small cut on his chin that's bleeding just enough to look dramatic. This is your fault. You and your boring husband and this whole setup. My fault. Clara's eyes go wide. You're the one who made that announcement. You're the one who humiliated Adrian first. Oh, so now you're defending him. Victor gestures wildly at me, nearly taking out someone's wine glass in the process. Now that he's knocked up my daughter, now you care about defending your husband? The crowd is living for this. Mrs. Parker has moved closer with her iPad, getting multiple angles like she's Martin Scorsese. The Hendersons' teenage son has put down his phone and is watching with the rapt attention of someone witnessing history. Jake from softball has given up all pretense of politeness and is just openly eating popcorn that he found somewhere. I don't even know where he got popcorn. We didn't have popcorn at this party, but he's eating it anyway. My mom has her hands clasped together like she's praying, and she mutters, "Someone call Jesus, or the police, or a therapist, preferably all three." "Ma, I got this," I say, which is probably a lie, but what else am I going to tell her? Ava, throughout all of this, has remained eerily calm. She's standing next to me with one hand on her belly and the other holding the ultrasound photo like it's a backstage pass to the greatest show on earth. When Victor finally stops shouting at Clara and turns his attention back to her, she doesn't flinch, doesn't look away, just meets his gaze with the kind of steady composure that makes me fall a little more in love with her despite the absolute dumpster fire we're currently standing in. "Dad," Ava says, and her voice cuts through the chaos like a knife through butter. "You should sit down before your blood pressure embarrasses you again." Again, someone in the crowd whispers. "He had an incident at Christmas," Ava explains to no one in particular. "Paramedics had to come. Very dramatic. Aunt Susan thought he was dying." Victor points at her with a shaking finger. "How could you do this? With him? Of all people. Of all people." Ava's calm cracks just a little, and there's steel underneath. "You mean the guy who actually listens when I talk? The guy who remembered my birthday without his secretary reminding him? The guy who doesn't introduce me to people as Victor Sterling's daughter like I don't have my own name?" She steps forward. "You humiliated his wife publicly, at his birthday party. What exactly did you think was going to happen? That he'd just take it? That there wouldn't be consequences? That's different." "How is it different?" Victor sputters, searching for words. The crowd waits. Even the crying kid has stopped crying, which is really saying something about the entertainment value of this confrontation. Dylan's got his phone out now, recording from a strategic angle near the house. When I shoot him a look, he whispers, "Legal purposes, bro. This is for legal purposes." "This is for TikTok," I whisper back. "That too." Clara's friends have formed a protective circle around her, shooting death glares at everyone. Me, Victor, Ava, probably the grill for good measure. One of them, Jessica or Jennifer or something, stage whispers, "Should we call someone?" But nobody moves because nobody wants to miss what happens next. Tom from next door leans over to his wife and says, "This is better than that time the Martinsons got divorced at their own anniversary party." "Way better," she agrees. "That was just sad. This is like theatrical." Victor's trying to compose himself, running his hands through his ruined hair, breathing heavily like he just ran a marathon. He looks around the backyard at all the faces staring at him, judging him, pitching him, probably already composing their social media posts about this. And I can see the exact moment he realizes he's lost. Not just the confrontation, but the entire war. His reputation, his dignity, his ability to ever show his face at a backyard barbecue in this town again, all gone. Vaporized, grilled to perfection, and served with a side of humiliation. "This isn't over," he finally says, but it sounds weak. Defeated, like a villain's exit line in a movie right before they slink away to lick their wounds. "Yeah, it kind of is," I say, raising my beer bottle in a mock toast. "But hey, thanks for coming to my party. Really made it memorable. Definitely going in the scrapbook." He glares at me one more time, then at Ava, then at Clara, then at everyone watching this train wreck unfold. Without another word, he turns and storms toward the side gate, his grass-stained polo and wounded pride trailing behind him like a cape of shame. He yanks the gate open so hard it bounces off the fence, and then he's gone. We hear his BMW start up, the engine revving aggressively like that'll restore his masculinity, and then the sound fades as he peels out of my driveway, probably leaving tire marks. The backyard stays silent for exactly 3 seconds. Then Dylan starts slow clapping. Then Jake joins in. Then, inexplicably, Mrs. Parker. Within seconds, half the backyard is applauding like I just finished a Broadway performance. My mom looks horrified and proud in equal measure, which is the exact face I imagine Mary made when Jesus flipped those tables in the temple. I take a bow because honestly, what else am I supposed to do? Best birthday ever. I announce again, louder this time, raising my beer to the sky. "Seriously, you guys are the best. Who wants cake?" Ava squeezes my hand and laughs. That wind chime laugh I love. "You're absolutely insane," she says. "Yeah, I agree, but I'm not boring." And somewhere in the distance, I swear I can hear Victor's BMW stalling at a red light. Karma works in mysterious ways. You know that moment after fireworks when there's just smoke and the smell of gunpowder and everyone's standing around wondering if it's safe to go home? That's what my backyard looks like after Victor's dramatic exit. The party's technically still happening, but it's got the energy of a funeral where someone just told an inappropriate joke. Everyone's uncomfortable, but nobody wants to be the first to leave, because what if they miss the next catastrophe? People start making their excuses within 20 minutes. Suddenly, everyone remembers they have early morning plans, or their babysitter has a curfew, or they left the oven on. Creative lies that we all pretend to believe because social contract demands it. My mom hugs me for a really long time and whispers, "I'm not sure if I should ground you or buy you a drink," before collecting her Tupperware and heading out. Dylan lingers, helping clean up solo cups and paper plates, shooting me looks that alternate between, "I can't believe you did that," and "that was the most legendary thing I've ever witnessed." Mrs. Parker leaves last, naturally, probably because she wants to capture every second of footage for her digital scrapbook of neighborhood drama. "Adrian," she says at the gate, iPad tucked under her arm. "That was quite an evening." "Yeah, sorry about the chaos, Mrs. P." "Sorry." She laughs. "Honey, that was better than cable." I haven't been this entertained since the Johnsons' divorce party in 2019. "You take care now." She actually winks at me. Mrs. Parker winks. The world has officially gone sideways. By 9 p.m., the backyard's empty except for me, Dylan, Ava, and the ruins of what was supposed to be a normal birthday celebration. The grill's finally cold, the fairy lights are twinkling like nothing happened, and there are half-eaten plates of food scattered everywhere like evidence at a crime scene. That's when the police show up. 2 officers, one older guy who looks tired of humanity's nonsense, and a younger woman who's clearly trying not to smile. Apparently someone called in a domestic disturbance. My money's on either Victor or one of Clara's friends who thinks calling the cops is an appropriate response to social awkwardness. "Everything all right here, sir?" the older cop asks, surveying the scene with the weary eyes of someone who's seen everything twice. "Just a birthday party that got a little heated," I explain. "Everyone's gone home now. No violence, no property damage. Well, except for one guy's ego, but that's not technically a crime." The younger cop definitely smiles at that. The older one just nods. "We got a call about a fight. More like a loud disagreement." Dylan chimes in. "Very loud, very disagreeable, but nobody threw hands." "Well, one guy tried, but he mostly just fought with gravity and lost." They take our statements, look around to make sure nobody's bleeding or dead, and leave with a warning to keep it down. Small mercies. Ava rides home with me in my truck. Clara took her car, peeled out about an hour ago in a dramatic exit of her own, mascara-streaked and sobbing into her phone. Probably calling her mom or her friends or a lawyer. Maybe all 3. Ava's quiet during the drive, her hand resting on her belly, and when I pull up to her apartment complex, she turns to me and says, "That was wild." "Yeah," I say, gripping the steering wheel. "Nothing like roasting egos with your ribs. Sorry I dragged you into that mess." "Are you kidding? That was the most honest conversation I've had with my father in years." She leans over and kisses my cheek. "Call me tomorrow?" "Definitely." When I get home, Clara's already been there. I can tell because drawers are open, hangers are on the floor, and there's that particular chaos that comes from someone packing in a rage. But she didn't take everything, which means she's coming back. Sure enough, around 11 p.m., I hear her key in the lock. She walks in looking like a hurricane survivor, makeup smeared, hair a mess, eyes red and swollen. "Adrian, please," she starts, and her voice cracks. "We need to talk. What happened tonight? It was a mistake. All of it. We can work through this." I'm standing in the living room with garbage bags. Big black contractor bags. The heavy-duty kind. I've been packing her stuff for the last hour. Clothes, shoes, those decorative pillows she insisted we needed, her collection of scented candles that all smell the same. "Clara, it's over." "Adrian, please. Your boss announced to 30 people that you've been sleeping with him. At my birthday party. There's no coming back from that." She's crying now, full ugly crying. "It was just a mistake. He's a mistake. You and me, we're real. We're a marriage. 10 years, Adrian. You can't just throw that away." I walk to the safe in our closet, our former closet, and pull out the prenup copy. The one our lawyers made us sign before the wedding. The one that's airtight, ironclad, and heavily in my favor because her parents insisted on it back when they thought she was marrying down. Funny how these things work out. I hand it to her. Read Section 7. Infidelity clause. You get nothing. Her face goes from sad to furious in record time. You'll regret this, she screams, throwing the papers at me. You're pathetic. You'll always be pathetic. Victor was right. You're a loser. Maybe, I say, holding the door open, her garbage bags lined up by the entrance. But not tonight. She grabs the bags, struggling with them, and storms out screaming obscenities that would make a sailor blush. The door slams so hard a picture frame falls off the wall. I lock the door behind her, pour myself a whiskey, and collapse on the couch. My phone buzzes. It's Dylan. You alive, bro? Barely. I text back. But yeah, legend. He responds, followed by a gif of someone dropping a microphone. I look around my now Clara-free living room and take a sip of whiskey. Best birthday ever. I wake up Sunday morning to my phone having a full-blown seizure on my nightstand. It's vibrating so consistently that it's literally inching toward the edge like it's attempting suicide. For a blissful 3 seconds, I forget everything that happened yesterday. Then reality crashes back in like a freight train made of regret, barbecue sauce, and questionable life choices. And I remember, oh right, I publicly destroyed my marriage, announced I knocked up my wife's boss's daughter, and turned my birthday party into the social equivalent of Chernobyl. I grab my phone. 63 text messages. 47 missed calls. My email inbox looks like it got hit by a spam bot having a nervous breakdown. And the notifications. Jesus Christ, the notifications. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Nextdoor, even LinkedIn is blowing up. Apparently, professional networking sites care about suburban revenge plots now. The town's group chat, you know, that thing that's supposed to be for announcing garage sales and lost cats, has completely exploded. There are 847 unread messages. I scroll through them with the morbid fascination of someone watching their own funeral. OMG, did anyone else see what happened at the Miles party? I heard Victor Sterling got exposed. Adrian Miles is my new hero. Wait, what happened? I missed it. Someone post the video, and there it is. The video. Multiple videos, actually. Mrs. Parker posted hers on the neighborhood Facebook group with the caption, "Well, this was unexpected. Face screaming in fear birthday cake." Dylan posted his on Twitter with hashtag birthday revenge, and it's already got 50,000 retweets. Someone else, I don't even know who, posted a clip on TikTok that's sitting at 3.2 million views and climbing. There's even a version with dramatic music and zoom-ins on Victor's face at key moments. I'm internet famous for destroying my life. This is the American dream, apparently. My phone rings. Unknown number. I consider ignoring it, but curiosity wins because my decision-making skills are clearly non-existent. Adrian Miles. It's a woman's voice, perky, with that particular brand of enthusiasm that screams media person. Who's asking? Rebecca Chun. I run Suburban Secrets, the local gossip blog. I've got 3 million followers across platforms. I'd love to get your side of the story. Exclusive interview. We could even do a video sit-down. This is blowing up, Adrian. People are calling it the greatest revenge story of the decade. I'm gonna have to pass, Rebecca. I can pay. Not interested. Thanks, though. I hang up. She calls back immediately. I decline. She texts. I'll post with or without your input. Might as well control the narrative, woman shrugging. I block the number because I'm mature like that. But here's the thing about viral internet moments. They don't need your permission. By Monday afternoon, Dylan's leaked video has 10 million views. 10 million. There are reaction videos, commentary videos. Someone made a mashup set to Burning Down the House by Talking Heads. A podcast called Suburban Warfare dedicated an entire episode to analyzing the social dynamics and power structures at play in the Miles Sterling birthday incident. The hashtags are insane. Hashtag BBQ Revenge, hashtag Boss Burned, hashtag Karma Grilled Medium Rare, hashtag Birthday Bombshell. Someone even started hashtag Justice for Adrian, which feels excessive but also kind of nice. Then the real fallout starts. Tuesday morning, I get a call from my buddy Marcus, the one who works in HR at Sterling Industries, Victor's company. "Dude," he says, voice low like he's in a spy movie. "You need to hear this. The board launched an internal ethics review. Inappropriate relationship with subordinate employee. Victor's on administrative leave. You're kidding. Dead serious. It gets better. Clara got fired this morning. Conflict of interest and conduct unbecoming. Legal's worried about a hostile workplace lawsuit if they keep her. I should feel bad about Clara losing her job. I should feel guilty. But mostly I feel like the universe just gave me a high five while simultaneously handing Karma a flamethrower. Karma's working overtime, I mutter. Overtime? Bro, Karma's pulling double shifts and getting paid time and a half. My DMs are flooded with messages from complete strangers. Legend. You're the king of petty and I respect it. Teach me your ways, sensei. Can you do this to my ex? I'll pay. Goat status achieved, goat. There's even marriage proposals, which is weird because I'm technically still married and also very publicly involved with a pregnant woman. But the internet's gonna internet. Wednesday, I meet Ava for lunch at this quiet cafe downtown where hopefully nobody recognizes me. She's showing more now. The baby bump is undeniable, and she's got this glow that pregnancy blogs are always talking about. She slides into the booth across from me and immediately starts laughing. What? I ask. My dad's lawyer called me. Wants to discuss options for child support and custody. She rolls her eyes. Now he wants to be involved. After spending 22 years treating me like an accessory to his success story. What did you tell them? That we'll handle it through proper channels and he can direct all future communication through my attorney. She grins. I might be young, but I'm not stupid. That's my girl. My phone buzzes. Another message, this one from a number I don't recognize. You ruined my father's life. I hope you're happy. I show it to Ava. She reads it and snorts. That's my half-sister. Dad's first marriage. She's dramatic. Ignore her. You have a half-sister? 3, actually. None of them talk to him either. Wonder why. We order lunch, and for the first time in days, I feel something that resembles peace. Yeah, my life's a dumpster fire that's been featured on TMZ and turned into memes. Yeah, I'm probably going to be known as that barbecue revenge guy for the rest of my life in this town. But Clara's gone. Victor's facing consequences. Ava's baby bump is growing. And honestly, I'm sleeping better than I have in years. My phone buzzes again. Dylan, bro, you're on the local news. They're calling you the backyard justice warrior. I laugh so hard I almost choke on my coffee. Best birthday ever. Still, 4 months after the party that broke the internet, I find myself sitting in a courthouse on a Thursday morning, wearing the same suit I wore to my wedding, which feels appropriate in a dark, cosmic humor kind of way. The courthouse smells like floor cleaner, broken dreams, and the collective regrets of everyone who ever thought representing themselves in legal proceedings was a solid idea. The fluorescent lights are doing that flickering thing that makes everyone look vaguely corpse-like, and there's a weird stain on the carpet that I'm trying very hard not to think about. Clara's suing me for emotional trauma. Emotional trauma. The woman who cheated on me with her boss, who facilitated my public humiliation at my own birthday party, who called me boring for 10 years straight. She's claiming I traumatized her. The irony is so thick you could spread it on toast. My lawyer, Marcus Kane, is sitting next to me looking like he's trying not to laugh. Marcus is 52, has been practicing family law for 25 years, and has seen some absolute garbage fires of human behavior. But even he admits this case is exceptionally entertaining. Those were his exact words. Not complex or challenging, entertaining. Like we're at a comedy show instead of a legal proceeding. You ready for this circus? Marcus mutters, adjusting his tie. Born ready, I whisper back. I've been practicing my serious face in the mirror. How's that going? Terribly. I keep smiling. Clara's sitting across the aisle with her lawyer, some guy named Brett Hofstadter, who looks like he walked out of a men's cologne advertisement. All sharp suits and sharp cheekbones and the kind of confidence that comes from winning custody battles and divorce settlements. He keeps shooting me these aggressive looks like he thinks he can intimidate me through sheer force of eyebrow furrowing. Dude, I face down Victor Sterling in my own backyard while grilling ribs. Your eyebrows don't scare me. Clara won't look at me. She's staring straight ahead with this martyred expression, like she's Joan of Arc waiting to be vindicated, except Joan of Arc probably didn't commit adultery with her boss and then try to sue her husband for having the audacity to fight back. She's wearing a conservative dress, navy blue, modest neckline, the kind of outfit that screams, I'm a victim. Please feel sorry for me. Her hair's pulled back in a bun. No makeup, or at least the kind of makeup that's supposed to look like no makeup. It's all very calculated, very performative. The courtroom's surprisingly full. Word got out about this case, probably because it's been all over social media for months, and apparently people have nothing better to do on a Thursday morning than watch other people's marriages implode in a legal setting. I recognize some faces from the neighborhood. Mrs. Parker's here, naturally, sitting in the back row with a notebook like she's a court reporter. Dylan's here for moral support, sitting right behind me, occasionally whispering commentary that makes Marcus shoot him warning looks. The bailiff calls us to order, and Judge Patricia Hendricks walks in. She's in her 60s, has reading glasses on a chain around her neck, and the expression of someone who has heard every excuse, every lie, and every ridiculous legal argument that humanity can possibly generate. She looks at the docket, looks at us, and I swear I see her suppress a sigh. Case number 2024, DR 8847, Clara Miles versus Adrian Miles, she announces. Plaintiff is seeking damages for emotional distress, mental anguish, and reputational harm. She pauses. This is the barbecue case, correct? Several people in the gallery snicker. The judge doesn't crack a smile, but I catch the tiniest glint of amusement in her eyes. Yes, Your Honor. Brett Hofstadter stands up, all professional and smooth. My client suffered severe emotional trauma due to the defendant's calculated and cruel actions at what should have been a simple birthday celebration. Marcus stands. Your Honor, my client responded proportionally to public humiliation initiated by the plaintiff and her employer, who is notably absent from these proceedings. Where is Mr. Sterling? The judge asks, flipping through papers. Dealing with his own legal issues, Your Honor, Marcus says. There's currently a child support case pending. Also, his company's ethics investigation concluded last month. He resigned. Well, he was asked to resign, which is basically the same thing, but with better severance. The judge nods slowly. I'm aware of the broader context. I read the brief. I also saw the video. Multiple videos, actually. My grandson sent me links. She looks at Clara. Mrs. Miles, you're claiming emotional distress. Clara stands, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue even though they're completely dry. Yes, Your Honor. What my husband did was cruel and calculated. He humiliated me in front of our entire community. He had an affair with a much younger woman, his mistress's boss's daughter, and announced the pregnancy at a public event. I've been unable to work, unable to sleep, unable to. You were fired for having an affair with your boss. The judge interrupts. According to the documentation, that's why you're unable to work. Not because of emotional trauma. Brett jumps in. Your Honor, the affair with Mr. Sterling was a mistake, but it doesn't justify the defendant's retaliatory actions. Retaliatory? Marcus is on his feet. Your Honor, my client was publicly humiliated first. Mr. Sterling announced, and I quote from the video transcript, your wife did things with me she never allowed you to, loser. At my client's birthday party, in front of 30 witnesses, the plaintiff facilitated this by inviting her affair partner to a family event. The judge looks at Clara. Did you invite Mr. Sterling to your husband's birthday party? Clara's face goes red. Yes, but I didn't think he would. You didn't think he would what? Publicly announce your affair? That seems like an oversight in judgment. Brett's floundering now. Your Honor, regardless of the initial incident, the defendant's response was disproportionate. He got someone pregnant, the judge says flatly. The child is his biological offspring. That's not emotional distress. That's biology and poor decision-making on multiple parties' accounts. She looks at me over her glasses. Mr. Miles, do you regret your actions? I stand up. Marcus gives me this look that says, please don't say anything stupid, but honestly, we're past that point. Way past it. Your Honor, I say, I regret that I didn't serve popcorn. The courtroom erupts. People are laughing, actual laughing in a courthouse. Dylan's cackling behind me. Mrs. Parker is scribbling furiously in her notebook. Even the bailiff is biting his lip, trying not to smile. The judge bangs her gavel, but there's definitely amusement in her expression now. Order, she says, but without much conviction. Brett looks like he's aged 10 years in 10 seconds. Your Honor, this is exactly the kind of flippant disrespect. Counselor, the judge interrupts. I've reviewed the evidence. The video footage shows Mr. Sterling initiating the public humiliation. The plaintiff was complicit by inviting him to the event and, based on witness testimony, laughing at his inappropriate comments prior to the revelation. Mr. Miles's response, while dramatic, was not illegal. Adultery isn't illegal in this state. Poor judgment isn't illegal. Being petty isn't illegal. But Your Honor, I'm dismissing this case with prejudice. Judge Hendricks continues. The plaintiff has not demonstrated actionable emotional distress beyond the normal consequences of having one's affair exposed. Furthermore, she contributed to the situation by inviting her affair partner to her husband's birthday celebration, which shows a stunning lack of judgment and forethought. She looks at Clara. Mrs. Miles, you cannot publicly participate in your own humiliation and then sue when someone else participates too. That's not how this works. Clara's face goes from red to white. Your Honor, please. Case dismissed. Mr. Miles, I suggest you work on your decision-making skills. Mrs. Miles, I suggest you work on yours as well. And someone tell Mr. Sterling that if he tries to avoid child support by staying out of courtrooms, it's not going to work. She bangs the gavel. Next case. It's over. Just like that. For months of legal stress, lawyer fees, and anxiety, finished in less than 20 minutes because even a judge can recognize nonsense when she sees it. Clara stands there frozen, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. Brett's packing up his briefcase with the defeated energy of someone who knew this was always a losing battle but took the case anyway, because billable hours are billable hours. Marcus pats my shoulder. You've officially won the internet and the case, he says with a grin. Congratulations. You're legally petty. Is that a legal term? It is now. Clara storms past us without a word, Brett trailing behind her, probably already calculating how much he can bill her for this disaster. Her heels click-clack on the courthouse floor with the staccato rhythm of pure fury. Dylan claps me on the back. Bro, that was legendary. The popcorn line? Chef's kiss. Thanks for being here, man. Wouldn't miss it. This is better than cable. We walk out of the courthouse into the bright November sunshine. My phone immediately starts buzzing. The video's probably already online, courtesy of someone in that courtroom. Mrs. Parker's probably uploading it as we speak with 17 hashtags and a play-by-play commentary. Marcus shakes my hand. Stay out of trouble, Adrian. No promises. Fair enough. Send me a baby shower invite. You got it. For once, justice actually happened. It tastes sweeter than barbecue sauce, better than revenge, cleaner than anything I've experienced in months. I'm free. Legally, officially, completely free. And somewhere, Victor Sterling is getting served child support papers. Life's funny that way. 1 year later, and I'm standing in the same backyard where I detonated my entire life like a hand grenade wrapped in hamburger buns. Except this time, everything's different. The fairy lights are still here. I never took them down because they're actually pretty nice, but the vibe is completely transformed. It's early April. The California weather is doing that perfect thing where it's warm but not hot. And there's this golden sunset happening that looks like someone cranked up the saturation on reality itself. The grill's fired up again, smoke curling into the sky like a victory flag, and I'm flipping burgers with the confidence of a man who's been through hell and came out the other side with a baby, a girlfriend, and a viral internet legacy. Ava gave birth 3 weeks ago. A boy. 8 pounds, 6 ounces, healthy lungs that he exercises at 3 a.m. like clockwork, and this permanent scowl that makes him look exactly like his grandfather, which is both hilarious and slightly disturbing. We named him Oliver, Ollie for short, and he's currently asleep in his carrier on the patio table, completely oblivious to the fact that his existence caused more drama than a reality TV show marathon. Ava's next to him, looking tired but happy in that new mom way where you're simultaneously exhausted and so in love with this tiny human that you'd fight a bear if necessary. This barbecue is different from last year's disaster. Smaller, calmer, more intentional. It's just family and actual friends. The people who stuck around after the chaos, who didn't just show up for the entertainment value. Dylan's here, obviously, manning the cooler like it's his sacred duty. My mom came early with her Tupperware of potato salad that nobody asked for, but everyone secretly wants. Tom and his wife from next door brought wine and the kind of curiosity that comes from living through someone else's drama. A few buddies from work. Ava's college roommate. Mrs. Parker even made an appearance, though I specifically asked her to leave the iPad at home, and shockingly, she complied. No Clara. No Victor. No designer polo shirts or fake CEO smiles or affair partners masquerading as party guests. Just good people, cold beer, and the kind of peace that money can't buy but apparently public revenge can facilitate. Think Victor'll send a card? Dylan asks, cracking open a Corona and nodding toward the baby. He's got this shit-eating grin that tells me he's been waiting to make jokes about this since Ollie was born. Probably a restraining order. I laugh, flipping a burger. Or maybe a cease and desist for making him a grandfather before he was emotionally ready. How's that whole child support situation going? His lawyer's lawyer is talking to Ava's lawyer. Very civilized. Very legal. Victor hasn't actually met Ollie yet. Keeps scheduling conflicts, according to his assistant. I use air quotes with my free hand, spatula still in the other. Translation: he's pretending this isn't happening and hoping it'll go away. Classic Victor. Classic Victor, I agree. My mom walks over with Ollie, who's now awake and making those scrunchy newborn faces that somehow manage to be adorable despite looking like an angry potato. Adrian, your son needs you, she announces, handing him over like he's a football. And by needs you, I mean needs a diaper change, but I've hit my quota for the day. Thanks, Mom. Real supportive. I changed your diapers for 2 years. Your turn. She pats my shoulder and goes to harass Dylan about when he's going to settle down and give her more grandchildren, which is her favorite hobby these days. I take Ollie inside, handle the diaper situation, which is exactly as glamorous as it sounds. And when I come back outside, Ava's chatting with Tom's wife about baby sleep schedules or lack thereof. She looks up when she sees me and smiles. The real kind of smile that makes my chest do that thing where it feels simultaneously too full and exactly right. Life's weird, man. A year ago, I was married to someone who thought I was boring, working a job I tolerated, living this beige existence where everything was fine, but nothing was great. I was the punchline in my own life. The stable, reliable, forgettable guy who grilled steaks and paid bills and never made waves. Now, I'm a single dad. Well, technically still legally married until the divorce finalizes next month, but emotionally single. I'm living with my girlfriend who's 22 and brilliant and laughs at my jokes, and actually wants to be around me. I'm raising a kid who's going to grow up hearing the absolutely insane story of how his parents met and how his birth announcement involved public humiliation and viral videos. And somehow, impossibly, I'm happy. Like genuinely, stupidly, wake up and don't immediately want to go back to sleep happy. Clara moved away about 6 months ago. Couldn't handle being in the same town where everyone knew her as that woman from the barbecue video. Last I heard through the gossip network, because small towns don't forget this kind of thing. She's living in Oregon, working at some marketing firm under her maiden name, still telling anyone who will listen that she was the victim in our divorce, still pretending that her affair was just a mistake, and my response was unforgivable. The mental gymnastics required to maintain that narrative must be Olympic level. Victor resigned from Sterling Industries for personal reasons, which is corporate speak for the ethics investigation found enough dirt to bury him, but not quite enough to prosecute. So everyone agreed he should leave quietly. He sold the Malibu house, downsized to a condo in Santa Monica, and apparently spends most of his time at the gym working on his comeback. His LinkedIn still describes him as a visionary leader and strategic innovator, which is optimistic at best and delusional at worst. The sun's really setting now, painting everything in shades of orange and pink that look fake but aren't. The grill's sizzling, beer's cold, Ollie's content, and I'm standing here thinking about how absolutely bonkers the last year has been. How one birthday party, one decision to stop being the nice guy who takes it on the chin, changed literally everything. Dylan appears at my elbow again. Deep thoughts, bro. Just thinking about how life flips, I say, watching Ava laugh at something my mom said. One day you're the punchline, the next day you're the headline. Philosophy from the grill master. I like it. Contains multitudes, man. I contain multitudes. We stand there for a minute, just watching the party. It's nothing fancy. No ring lights, no Instagram optimization, no performative joy for the algorithm. Just real people having a real good time, which turns out to be worth more than all the curated content in the world. Hey, Adrian, Dylan says. Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Last year was insane, but you handled it. You're killing this dad thing too. Ollie's lucky. I don't know what to say to that. So I just bump his shoulder with mine in that way guys do when emotions get too real and we need to acknowledge them without actually talking about them. Tom wanders over with a fresh beer for each of us. Miles, these burgers ready? I'm starving. 2 minutes. Perfection takes time. That's what she said, Dylan adds, because he's 12 years old emotionally. We all laugh. Ava joins us, Ollie in her arms, and she slides under my free arm like she belongs there, which she does. She looks up at me and says, "Happy?" "Yeah," I say, and I mean it more than I've meant anything in years. Really happy. Mrs. Parker raises her wine glass from across the patio. "To Adrian," she announces, because apparently we're doing toasts now. The man who turned a birthday party into a legend. Everyone raises their drinks. Dylan adds, "To revenge served cold." "To new beginnings," my mom chimes in. "To not inviting your wife's boss to parties." Tom's wife yells, and everyone cracks up. I raise my beer bottle. Ava's glass of sparkling cider clicks against it, and as the grill sizzles behind us and the sunset paints my backyard in impossible colors, I think about something I learned this year. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fire. Sometimes it doesn't need elaborate planning or malicious intent or even the moral high ground. Sometimes it just needs patience, confidence, and perfect timing. Sometimes it needs a grill, some ribs, and the willingness to stop being the punchline in your own story. I look at Ollie, his tiny hand wrapped around my finger, already scowling at the world like he's got opinions about everything, and I can't wait to tell him this story someday. When he's old enough, when he can appreciate the absolute circus that preceded his arrival. "Hey kiddo," I whisper, "your dad might be a viral legend and kind of a petty bastard, but at least life's never boring." He yawns. Fair response. The grill sizzles. The sun sets. The party continues. And somewhere out there, Victor Sterling is probably getting another reminder about his child support payment. Life's funny that way. Best birthday ever. Still. Always.